Boink. Boink. This episode of Living in Las Vegas is brought to you by Mitch Fulfer of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, selling homes all across the valley. Mitch Fulfer. When it comes to the weather here in Las Vegas, a lot of people say it's a dry heat, and it is. But so is an oven, and you don't see me living in an oven. The reason why it's tolerable, at least to me, is because I happen to be lucky enough to have a pool. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. What are the top pools in Las Vegas, both downtown and on the Strip? Where are the places that I like to go during a staycation, or the places I recommend to my friends if they want to go for a dip here in Las Vegas? Plus, we'll have a drink on me, and if we have time, listener email. This is a Living in Las Vegas podcast. Let's get started. Living in Las Vegas starts now.
You're welcome. I'll give you double entries for that.
Thank you. Good man, Charlie Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, that groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. Yeah, incoming. And now your host, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was.
I'll sing over the Scott.
Mr. Scott Whitney. Welcome, everybody, to the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Nice. Oh, jazz hands. Hey, and congratulations, because
you're applause for the hearing impaired.
That's right. And they're listening to our show and not liking a bit of it. And by the way, congratulations, because you're watching or listening to the longest running podcast about Vegas that actually originates from Las Vegas, which means that we're not only going to cover what it's like to live here, but we're going to be talking about adventures on the Strip, downtown, Fremont Street, other cool places here in the Valley. And by the way, if you're a tourist or a fan, you might be thinking of moving to our fair city. Well, guess what? Everybody, about 5,000 people a month. Used to be probably a little bit less now. But guess what? This show is like your own secret handshake to all things cool and groovy. Our free show is on the first and third Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock Pacific time, p.m. at vegasvideonetwork.com/live. Again, vegasvideonetwork.com/live. Let me tell you something. Come on out and have some fun. Look, we've got great people hanging out. As a matter of fact, if you take a look right now, you'll see Pops and Mike and Richard, who's Faye's Jitter, and you'll see Yankee Mike, who I believe is brand new, and we'll be talking about him in a few seconds. And here's the other cool thing that's very, very groovy about all these things is this. Inside scoop. People want to know a little bit about the man behind the curtain. Well, here's what happens. We start the show officially at 7 o'clock, but do we start streaming before 7?
Of course.
Yes, we do. About 15 minutes before pre-show, you get to watch the sausage being made. You get to watch us learn mysterious things about people like, for instance, Wayne. Mm-hmm. I've learned something before the pre-show, which we didn't stream, that we will be sharing in the actual show. That's the magic. But wait a minute, there's more. At 8 o'clock is when we end our show officially, but is that when we end our live stream?
Does it ever really end?
No, it never ends. We're with you like herpes or a nasty rash, bursitis, for example. But here's what we do. Half hour maybe, sometimes as many as 45 of those minutes after the show, we're Vegas Video Network After Dark. We're VVN 2.0. We're talking about the things that we wanted to talk about, but simply did not want them on the record. So the only way you get to be a part of that is vegasvideonetwork.com/live. Hey, I'm your host, Scott Whitney. Konnichiwa, buenas noches. How you doing, hot stuff? I'm the founder and owner of the Vegas Video Network, so on behalf of all the shows here, thanks for checking this out. And on behalf of this groovy little podcast, thanks for being here as well. And I'm joined once again by the man, the mystery, you know what? Canadians love him. Oh, and guess what I just learned? Australians are somewhat fond of him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Pimpin' Wayne.
You know, really, anybody with a little bit of an accent, they just... You know, I'm once, twice, three times
a Wayne. So if you speak the Queen's English, that's not right. If you speak regular American English, so 330 million people don't care for Wayne. But the people up in Canada, I think there's about 2 million people up there total. Love ya.
Including Moose, yeah.
Moose love them. And then the Australians, who are, of course, ex-criminals, love you as well. That's fantastic.
It's diversity.
New in the live chat, we had somebody just sneak in there right at the last minute. I don't think I've seen him before. He goes by the nom de plume of Yankee Mike. Yankee Mike's real name is?
Probably Mike.
Mike. He's from?
Well, probably New York.
Good. He discovered us on?
One of 30 different methods like Roku, TuneIn, Chromecast, Stitcher.
Nice. Well
YouTube.
done. And he's been watching for how long?
These days, well, let's see. How long have I been here?
You've been here for, it seems like forever.
Right. So he's been here for just
a little under forever. Very good. Well, Yankee Mike, thanks for playing along. You're one of our all-time favorite new people who just showed up today. All right.
I feel like we could book a commercial in there or something.
Well, so I was actually going to do a bumper for this, but instead I did that opening video instead. I thought, bumper, opening video by the pool, bumper, opening video by the pool. Okay, hey, as I said in the opening video, you know, the thing that's amazing about this time of year is it's the best time of year. It's pool season. It's upon us. It's with me, and I'm super, super happy about that. But I will say this, that if it wasn't for, I wouldn't live in Las Vegas if I didn't have a pool or have access to a pool. So either having one is nice, or if you're in a community that has a pool, that's what I would do. That was part of the agreement I had with Melissa. We will move to Las Vegas where it's, you know, hot, but we have to have a pool, otherwise it won't be as fun. And so we did that here, there, and we did that where we are now.
Pool and jacuzzi or just pool?
Oh, I prefer both. I prefer both. I like the idea on the cooler 70s when it gets down to a brisk 70. I'll jump in the jacuzzi, fire that up to 101 degrees, get a bottle of wine, some wine and some cheese. Boom. That's not a terrible thing. By the way, that's kind of what we do in the fall. You know, October, maybe November. We'll run out there with our thick terry cloth robe and get in our 101 degree water, and whoo, it's pretty good. A little bit of red wine, a little Merlot. It's pretty
Gilmore Girls or some Sex in the City.
Fantastic.
Right.
It's a good life, actually. But you know what? What happens if you don't have a pool? What if you're a tourist and you want to come to go and see some fantastic pools? Well, guess what? We have some of the best pools in the whole country. I'm willing to stake my reputation on it. And we're going to talk about those pools. And the way I've decided to approach this is a number of criteria, if you will. So I'll start by talking about...
Is there an official scoring system?
Yeah, of course there is.
Okay.
I will start by talking about the size of the pool area. Size matters, comes to find out.
Really?
Yeah, sure
Not
does.
just how you swim in it?
Nope. You gotta. It's what you see.
Not the motion of the ocean?
No, it's just the way you look as you look across the horizon, the pool horizon. What does it do to you emotionally?
Okay.
Size matters. How many pools and jacuzzis are in that area? Is it 1? Is it 10? That kind of range exists in Las Vegas. How about, what's my favorite feature? What's the one thing about that particular pool that makes me giddy, that makes me happy? Hey, are there adult-only pools? Listen, I know kids are important. We've all been one, but I don't want to be around them. I don't like kids. I like some kids. Not a lot of them. No. Most kids.
Short list.
Very short, and it's not really the kids' fault. The truth of the matter is, it's the parents' fault. And you know, most kids today are children of late in life parents, and late in life parents, as a practice, are crappy parents. Now, are there people who aren't like that? Yeah, I know one, two. I know two couples who are late in life, and they're pretty good kids. Yeah, but that's it. The rest of them, how many kids are out there right now? Let's say 1 million.
Sure.
10 million. All of them are bad, except for 2 parents that I know. Okay. Can non-guests get in the pool? If I'm not staying at this place, can I still hop in there because I want to be a part of the beachy, vibey thing, the rehab thing? By the way, rehab's not on there because I've never seen so much suntan lotion ever.
Last year for rehab.
In a pool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Is it really? Oh, that's right, because they're rebranding the whole place. So let's begin. We begin on the Strip. Probably my favorite pool of all the pools that we'll be talking about today. It's a pool that I've gone to when I was a tourist and a pool that I've gone to many times as a staycation. That's the Mgm Grand Poole. Now, this thing is not to be toyed with size-wise. It's 6.5 acres, which is kind of big. By the way, you know how I calculated that? With Google Maps, you can put a border around it, and it will actually do the calculation for you in square feet. And then I went to the Google and said, if there's 226,000 square feet, how many acres is it? About 6.5. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
When you get a new car, you can just push the button and ask it, and it'll tell you.
We're talking about new cars. I want you, if you look at both of us, one of us is a car whore. One of us loves their cars and keeps them for 10 years. I'll let you guys decide.
Loves them so much, he puts new transmissions in them.
Yeah, that's the part where I'm not going to get his little cousin or whatever you call the next version of him. That's not going to happen because I had to put in a transmission. That's a problem. Okay, 6.5 acres. How many pools are in there? And as you see there, there's 7-ish. Plus or minus 1, you know, you can never really tell. What's my favorite feature? If you look at the top of that picture, you'll see what looks like a ghost with his hands out, and that is a lazy river. And it is easily my favorite feature in any pool because the concept of being able to lean back with a lovely drink and be propelled through water without actually having to work at it is magical.
That's nice.
Whoever came up with that idea is a genius and should be president of, well, probably the United States, because it couldn't go any worse as of right now. But quite frankly, if you come up with a lazy river, you can run the country. Anyways, that lazy river up there is about 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet. And as you can see there, it revolves around.
It's large.
It does look, it's super large. It does seem longer than that too, but that's what they said. It goes around that little pool at the 12 o'clock place, so you can come out of the lazy river without even getting out of the lazy river. Just whop into that little pool at the top there. And there's a waterfall thing at the top there as well. It's a really cool pool. There's also a waterfall at the 3 o'clock area of the lazy river that you go through. It's just a fantastic lazy river. It's really, really good. Adult only? Yep. There is an adult only area at the 5 o'clock area. That pool down there, which is kind of secluded from the rest of the area, is an adult only pool. So if you're not wanting to hang out with Johnny and little Billy and Susie and all that crap.
Now let's delineate here. There's a difference between adult only and topless, correct? They're not synonymous.
They are not. And I'm using this, in this case, as just adults only, not topless. Can non-guests get access to that? The answer is negative, Ghost Rider. Negative. Now you may say to yourself, wait a minute, Scott, didn't you once witness a crime at this pool? I did. More than witness it, I prevented it. But that's for another podcast that we've done in the previous. But basically, I saw somebody shoplifting and caught them and chased them. And it was arguably actually, that was my introduction to Fireball. Not before I caught the bad person. It was afterwards because Fireball was there running around giving away free poisonous drinks. And they're like, wow, that was pretty cool. And they're like, people were like, here's a Fireball for you. And I'm like, this is great. Oh, this stuff tastes like shit. Yeah. Who drinks this stuff? Come to find out, women. Okay, moving forward. Our next beach is down the Strip a little bit. Also a very impressive facility. And that's, of course, Mandalay Bay and their beach and stuff. How big is that area? It's 6.47 acres. So also quite large.
Now, is that including the new indoor pool addition that they're doing today?
I am not aware of the indoor pool addition. Please tell me about it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, today Mandalay Bay had a water leak. And so basically the convention center, which is actually quite large, is now under about 6 inches of water everywhere. There are there's pictures all over the place. So yeah, it's the perfect kiddie pool. That's where the kids should go. Splash, you little fuckers.
There's carpet laid down, so if they fall, it's not going to hurt.
No one's going to get hurt. So yeah, that doesn't include the giant 500,000 square foot pool that is currently being created as we speak at Mandalay Bay's Convention Center. No, 6.47 acres, and it contains 10 pools and jacuzzis. Now, what are my favorite features here? Well, if you look to the...
Well, they have a lazy river as well.
They do. If you look to about the 8 o'clock, you'll see a lazy river. Now, if you look at this lazy river compared to that lazy river, there's no big comparison. And that lazy river is really self-contained. It's about, they said 490 feet. So less than half of the Mandalay Bay, but it's still a lazy river.
You know what one of my favorite features here is that you don't see very often?
What's that?
Sand.
Right, and that's where you see where the M logo, that's a sand beach, and it's also a wave beach. It creates a little wave. Now, this is not waves that you're going to surf on. Like, I think there are wave making things where you can get a little surf on there, or that on a lot of cruise ships do this. I think that's not what this is. No. I've been to this beach this pool a couple times, and I thought, oh man, this is going to bring me back to my Southern California days. No, it brings you back to. Is that the way? What am I going to do with that? I can't even body surf on there.
No, I mean, insurance rates are going up.
But I'll tell you what, it is really cool. And as you can see, I mean, the size of this place is sizable. It's fun to look at, lots of different levels. It's
got a full-on casino back there.
That's right, adult only. I'll talk about that first. Yeah, but I don't think it's the adult only like MGM. This one has the Moorea Beach. Is that what it's called? Moorea, and that's a topless or
optional.
Toptional, very good. A toptional beach. So I occasionally go topless.
Fun fact: Marina Beach. I've seen the past 3 weeks on house seats.
Really?
Yeah.
To do what?
Reserve yourself a chair.
Are you shitting me?
Marina Beach.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Really? Man, that's all right. And also, how about can non-guests go? You can't go to MGM, but they actually do let non-guests get into Mandalay Bay. It's $20 to get in. But wait a minute. I think we may have a way to get around that. Wayne?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wayne.
Let me give you a little inside tip here. Scott's going to tell you things such as it's $20 to get in, or they don't allow non-hotel guests in. Folks.
They do allow them in for $20.
Let me tell you a little
But wait,
story.
there's more.
So here in Nevada, casinos are governed by a little organization called the GCB, the Gaming Control Board. And part of the Gaming Control Board's responsibility is to make laws as it pertains to gaming. One of those such laws is, and I quote, that access to the general public to gaming activities must not be restricted in any manner except provided by the legislature. Those exceptions, as Scott and I were talking about in the pre-show, refer to private salons, which those rules are not in play here.
Right.
So what does that mean? Let me break this down for you with my pseudo pre-law minor that I dropped out of once I failed philosophy class. If there is gaming in the pool, around the pool, or anywhere in the poolside area, and this is going to be table games, so a little blackjack, maybe some pie gow. I think one of the casinos used to actually have a dice game in the pool. If there is gaming in the pool or around the area, they must let you in. Now, they're not going to be happy about it, and they might not always know the rules. They might have to call a supervisor or something of that nature. However, it is against Nevada gaming law to deny a member of the public access to gaming where public gaming is going on. So, when you go to Mandalay Bay and they ask if you're a guest there, and you tell them no, and they say, well, that's going to be $20, you know what you tell them? We're going to the casino. And what they'll do, they might not like it, but eventually they're going to break out some little casino wristbands and give you a little wristband, and guess what? You now are in the Mandalay Bay pool area.
Boom.
What you do from there, well, that's on you.
Well done. That's some pretty cool inside scoop if you ask your buddy Scott. Jags wants to know real quick, can you comment on the quality of the attendees at the Topless pool? Wayne?
Usually poor. It's optional for a reason. Yeah, you might catch younger generation, maybe someone more of my generation there. But traditionally...
Have you ever been to a Topless pool here?
No, but I've read the reviews.
Okay, because I've never been to one.
For example, the Caesar's Palace,
yeah.
When you walk right by it.
Yeah.
You can see right in there.
Oh, okay.
So if I'm 6'2", so I can see over the pharmacy counter.
Look at you, you're such a stud.
But people of my height, you can see right in there.
I'm going to assume that the women that you see on the posters for that place may not be the women who are
they
in
exist
the
solely
pool.
on the posters.
That's right. So it's
If
like
you want to see those types of women, you can go to the Sapphire Pool Party, but that's an entire different group.
And that's actually supposed to be a really good pool party. I don't know. Best husband ever. But I hear it's really kind of a cool place to hang out. I got a couple invites there once. To, hey, you should talk about us on your show.
It used to be at the Rio.
I want to stay
And then there were
married.
some problems with prostitution, and the Rio kicked them out.
Oh, that's right. Sapphire was there. Oh, I remember that. I guess they frown on prostitution.
The Rio does.
The Rio does. Many other hotels, it's completely okay. But Rio, goddamn, they're putting their foot down.
Right.
We're not having prostitution because we
Might
got
not put
caught.
a single diamond in that property, but damn it, they've got morals.
We got caught, so we are not going to let it happen. Okay. And so, like I said, non-guest action, $20, unless Wayne tells you to go in there and say, I'm a gamey guy, back off, give me the wristband, and we don't want to talk to you. I love that.
For sure, they're going to offer it at Mandalay because the casino is actually built in. Also, the Tropicana has it blackjack built into the pool. Other casinos might throw up some tables depending on the demand, the time of day, the day of the week, those sorts of things.
Right.
But if it's there, you are supposed to have access to it.
I love that. Quick break. Let's talk about our good buddy, Mitch Fulfer. Mitch Fulfer over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. He's the guy who helped sell my house at Aliante. The first one sold in less than 2 hours. Then it went back on the market because those people were nutty. It sold again in 45 minutes for over asking. Here's something to remember if you're looking for a realtor in Las Vegas. 80% of the people who say they're realtors in Las Vegas have never bought or sold a home. And what I like about this guy, two things actually. He's a touchy guy. He's really on top of you. And then his background, he's a lot of travel that he's done in his past jobs. So he kind of knows a lot of places here. So you come from Poughkeepsie and say, I like this kind of vibe. He'll say, oh, yeah, that's Green Valley. Or I like this kind of vibe. Oh, yeah, that's up in Aliante. Or I don't want to do this. Oh, you should try Sun City. He knows this place cold. So check him out. Website, Mitch Fulfer, MITCHFULFER.com. MitchFulfer.com. Yes?
Is that actually a picture of Mitch or is that a stock photo?
That is Mitch.
Oh, look at that.
He's a golfer. Buying or selling, this is the guy you want to work with. Thank you, Mitch. All right, moving forward. Our next pool, downtown Judy Brown.
You say our, but I want to clarify. These are your selections.
The next pool. Do you have something that we should add to this?
To
to our pool list?
Well, afterwards, I'll give a couple honorable mentions. But that's cool. For our Canadian folks.
Yeah, fine. Sure. That's good. Right. The Travel Lodge. That doesn't exist anymore. All right.
We found out last week, Casino Royale hotel.
Casino Royale.
Free parking and
Very good.
Clean rooms.
And $2 Michelob, I think, or something like that. All right, next up, downtown, the Golden Nugget. Now, the size of this pool is not terribly impressive. The whole area is about a half an acre.
Downtown is
it's pretty tight. This is right off of Fremont Street, of course. So the picture you're seeing there is looking in between the three buildings that surround it. So there's not a lot of real estate to go running around topless. But it's a cool little pool. There's two pools there. Here's why I like this pool. The shark tank, the big one there that looks like a big smiley face is called the shark tank. And where you see those bushes, there's a 200,000-gallon shark tank in there, a bunch of fish, including shark. And what's kind of cool about it is there's a glass tube slide, that goes right through the middle of this. So if the idea of sliding through man-eating sharks appeals to you, guess what? That's the place you want to go. And I think it should appeal to everybody because at one point you just have to look into the dead eyes of a shark and go, I'm not afraid of you, and I'm about ready to have a Mai Tai. Whoosh. That's good living right there. Now you may say to yourself, wait a minute, can I get away from kids? Is there any possible way to get away from kids on this? Yeah, there is actually. If you look closely again, you'll notice there's a little pool to the right, to the left-ish. It's on the third floor.
So it looks like a rooftop.
It is. Well, it's not really a roof. It's like a third floor deck, and they call that the hideaway. And it's adult only. And they've got some cabanas around there and some pool chairs and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually. Can non-guests go? Well, there's gambling out there, so clearly we believe that non-guests can go. But there's more. This coloring is killing me. Stand by. As a matter of fact, if you walk directly into, so you walk into the pool typically from the lower 2 o'clock range where that shadow is. And right when you walk in, there are 2 blackjack tables on both sides of that. So given what Wayne has told us, one would assume that non-guests can go in there. And in fact, you can, and they charge you between $25 to $35 a day, depending on the day it is. It's really cool. By the way, there's some nice restaurants, especially at the 1 o'clock area there. I mean, in inexpensive, reasonable restaurants, but great view. So you get to look at the pool and see the sharks running around. It's a pretty cool place. So I really like Golden Nugget as well. They actually have a couple good restaurants. So they have a good fish restaurant and a good steak restaurant as well. So that's the Golden Nugget. And then finally, back to the Strip, we have Caesars. Arguably one of the original badass pool areas on the Strip. That's the size of that area, 5 acres. So not quite as big as Mandalay Bay, not quite as big as MGM Grand, but still 5 acres.
5 acres. You know what, though? A lot of cement is what I see when I look at that picture.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of, I'll tell you what the thing about, well, I'll get to that in a second. Agreed. 8 pools and jacuzzis at Caesars. My favorite thing about this, though, is the look of it as you walk in. So it's a longer looking kind of place. You walk in from where that circle area is, and all you see is pools and people and pools and stuff. And it just is really kind of a dramatic vibe to it. So I really, really like that. But I don't know. Oh, first, there is an adult-only place there. But I don't know if non-guests are allowed to get in there or not. I don't think there's any gambling in the area.
There is. If you go back to that picture.
Oh, then they must let people in there.
The circular hut on the right side there.
Where it says Temple Pool?
That's correct. Yep. Underneath there is blackjack tables.
At the, on the pool or down there at the, so here?
Yep. No, up in the pool. Yeah.
Oh, in the pool?
In the pool.
Oh, no shit. Oh, well, then they have to let people in, according to you.
Also, if you'd like to, get in just because, without there being gambling, Caesars, all of Caesars pools, actually, there's an alternative method.
Oh.
And that is, if you get yourself the Total Rewards Caesars branded credit card.
Which you have.
Which I have. Which initially gives you free parking at all the Caesars resorts in Las Vegas.
The credit card. Okay.
The credit card.
Yeah, right. Which you do have.
Which I do have also. That gets you the free parking. It gets you first up the buffet and those sorts of things.
Right.
If you spend over the course of 12 months, if there's a certain spend minimum, I believe it's about $10,000. So if you have $10,000 to spend on there in a calendar year, Caesars will send you what's called a VIP access card.
Oh.
That card entitles you, amongst a couple other minor fringe benefits, to access to any Caesars pool in Las Vegas.
Really?
Caesars, Bally's, Paris, Planet Hollywood.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yep. This has been fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what? I am going to renew your contract.
Fantastic.
You've really done a good job today. Super proud of you.
Well, it's all that prep we did.
I think.
2 weeks we've been slaving away.
Let's not share the preparation method with these people. There's no reason to show them how the sausage is made. I talk about the sausage being made, but they don't have to hear that.
Yeah, they don't get to taste the sausage.
Yeah. So, is there a better pool than those pools that I mentioned? There is, and that is if your friend has a pool, go there. And here's why. Drink prices, they're free, unless your friend's kind of a dick. And I know our drink prices are free. It's less crowded. They can be crowded. There's a lot of people running around in these pools during the summertime. Probably a lower percentage of pee per million parts in your friend's pool.
Right, parts per square inch.
Parts per square piece, whatever it is, than you would guess at any of these pools that I might have mentioned. And typically easy to get there. So if your friend has a pool, I would say go to that pool. What do you think? Are we good?
I also honorable mentions.
Oh, you wanted to do some honorable mentions.
I enjoy the Tropicana. It's a large pool area. They offer blackjack. They offer shade within the pool.
Yeah.
It actually cuts into the building a little bit. So you can be in the water and the shade at the same time if you're of the fairer skin like myself.
Yeah.
I mentioned the poolside gaming. The other thing that I think is nice there, the largest concentration of grass I've ever seen in a strip pool.
Let me go ahead and find, while you're talking about that, I'll see if I can go
because I
find
mean, like I talked about with Caesars. Caesars is a very nice pool, but it's a bit of a concrete jungle out there.
Yeah.
And that concrete in the summer, 110 degrees, even if you got wet feet, it gets a little toasty. And the heat radiates up off of it.
Yeah.
The Tropicana has a nice variety of lush palm trees that provide shade, as well as grass, which you can sit on, you can step on. It's a little bit cooler.
Here's
it's a nice. Let's see. Look at all that greenery on the left
grass
side.
here.
There's. I would almost say there's more
there,
grass than there is
there.
concrete,
Yeah, for sure.
or at least definitely a better proportioned ratio.
For sure. Yeah. It's a good pool.
So as you can see, where that bridge, that sky bridge comes, there's shade underneath there, and there's blackjack tables.
Yeah.
So you can be in the water, drinking, and out of the sun all at the same time.
Nothing wrong with that.
Additionally, my next honorable mention is going to be the Flamingo for similar reasons. They also have more grass area than you typically see at a Vegas pool. Also, they have a lazy river. And
They do?
They have, they do. I also find the food and beverage pricing to be a little bit more reasonable at the Flamingo than, say, Caesars.
Flamingo.
Caesars,
Wait,
you're going to pay $17 to $21 per drink for a frozen drink.
So here's Flamingo.
And you're going to get a couple of dollars less there. They have a grill out there where you can get a burger for, I think, $12.
Where's the
where
lazy
you're going to
river?
say $12 for a burger, and I'm going to say, listen, that burger's going to cost you $25.
Wait a minute. Where's this lazy river,
places.
dude?
So it is, I believe, if you go.
I don't see a lazy river, man.
That might be it on the bottom left there. It's not. I don't
This
think it's
here?
very big. Yeah. It's not.
It's like a lazy pond.
Yeah, it might be a lazy pond.
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see how they could.
I wonder if they've remodeled it. Since,
I bet it's. Wait, hold on. I wonder if it's this thing down here.
Oh yeah, it says lagoon. If you zoom, if you zoom out a notch or two, it said lagoon. One of them, it's the way marker went away. I believe it starts there and then goes underneath. See how it kind of goes around, like in that treed area.
Over here.
Yep. Yeah. It's not very large.
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Yep.
All right. Cool.
So those would be my honorable mentions. I like Tropicana of the two better, but if you're at a Caesars property and you don't want to spend Caesars Palace type money, I think the Flamingo is a little bit more of an affordable option.
I like it. Very good. So go, splash, have fun, and if you wouldn't mind, have a drink on me. Have a drink on me. All right. Have a drink on me. Come on. Yeah. All right, it's time for Have a Drink on Me. It's part of the show where I show you a picture of a bar or a speakeasy or a lounge, but never a club. And you guess it. And if you guess it, you win some fantastic prizes. Would you like to be Vanna White or Pat Sajak?
Well, Pat, did you see Pat in the finals?
I did.
That was terrible, wasn't it? Who thought of that? Yeah, you can be Pat.
Yeah. So I'm a talker. Okay. If you do this, if you win, here are some of the things that you can win. You know, music is arguably the thing that makes humans the best humans. Now you may be thinking to yourself, my favorite type of music is Christmas, and you are on track because we have a couple CDs. You got Christmas Acoustic or Christmas Acoustic 2. It's a solo acoustic jazz CD by your good buddy Scott. But wait a minute, you don't want Christmas music. You want just some happy Latin jazzy kind of stuff.
You're Jewish.
Or maybe you're Jewish. And guess what?
Muslim.
Get Jazzathon solo guitar as well by your good buddy Scott. You know what? You care about the sartorial part of you. You want to dress nice, look nice, but also keep the sun out of your eyes. Well, why wouldn't you? I'd recommend the Vegas Video Network Visor. It comes in black and black, the same color as my heart. Try the Vegas Video Network Visor. You'll be good looking, and you could do that pose, and the women will love you. Wait a minute. You've already got a hat. You've already got music. You're just thirsty.
Bartender.
You wanna, oh yeah. You just like to have a drink, and why wouldn't you? You're a thirsty guy, you've been working hard, and I get that. Well, your buddy Scott will buy you a drink. That's right. That's why it's called Have a Drink on Me. That was the origin of this thing. I will take you out to a bar or a pub or a lounge, and I will buy you a beer. Now, the last time we did this, he drank the entire drink at one time. That's not going to happen this time because what do we are? You know,
It's a 16-ounce can.
trained monkeys? What are we doing here?
You handed me a tall can.
I know.
You trying to kill me now?
It's true, right? But I wanted to see. So that's what happens if you win Have a Drink on Me. Thank you, Wayne. Now, there's a number of ways to win. First, if you get a correct entry, we'll put your name into the hat. Oh, by the way, you have to send an email. I should probably mention that real quick. Send an email for your entry, excuse me, to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com.
I think we would also accept singing Telegram.
We do, and we'll accept text messages from our website. A little chat thing there. We'll take those too. Basically, we'll take anything because we're givers.
What about the answer written and mailed in on a $20 bill?
Why wouldn't we? You'll have a better chance of winning if you send it on a $20 bill.
You do
I'll
that.
give you a better chance
Rather
on $1.
than a Post-it note, we'll put the $20 bill in there and draw it up.
Even a higher chance of being discovered because while we're idiots, we're not stupid. We'll pull that 20 out, you'll win, and I'll use that 20 to buy you your drink. That's pretty fantastic. How can you win? 5 ways to win. 5 opportunities to win, I should say. If you get a correct answer, we put you in the hat. If you submit an entry and you're in the live chat during this, boom, you've got another entry in there. If you send us a video photo or a video guess, you got another entry in there. If you are the very first entry that's been put in there, you get another entry. And if you do it
correct entry.
Yes, that's right. And if you do an intro video to the whole show, kind of like what I did at the top of this show, boom, we put you in there. Okay, now, one more thing before we get going here. Some magic does happen if you find yourself a winner. Let's say you find yourself a winner and you decide you're going to get yourself one of them visors and you think, I'm going to take a picture of myself because I'm handsome and the chicks dig me. And you take that picture and you send it to me.
Especially Canadian chicks.
Of course they do. You send them to me and I look at that picture and I went, oof, that's a good looking man. It's a good looking woman. I'm going to put you into a category. Really? A category? Do categories even exist anymore on the internet? Of course they do. The most special of all categories. You'll become a part of the galaxy of God. There is Gregor and Bill and Mr. Testy and Steve and Michael. And then there's Robert and Rosie and Michael. Again, me can't go away. And then there is Michael, and then there is our buddy Scott and Pinky and Bud and Alan and Aaron. And then we know their newest and Bob and Bob's wife. There's Danny and Shan, not Chan, and Craig and Glenn, who we're having dinner with next week. And then there's Jimmy, 2 G's, and of course Robert. And then there's all kinds of Stuart and Christina, whose all babies are because of my music, and Don and Jackie and Michael Boom Boom, who's moving to Las Vegas, Pops and Sammy and Carol and a dog and Chris, Brett's dad Scott, your buddy Wayne, and don't forget Brett. All right.
Standard disclaimer, Scott's music does not necessarily induce pregnancy.
No.
Use as directed. See a doctor if erection lasts more than 8 hours.
And then call your friends and brag because all of a sudden you're the smart one. Okay. Last week's Have a Drink on Me was this photog right here. There it is. And the clues were the underground at the Mob Museum. The underground at the Mob Museum. And of course, the underground at the Mob Museum.
I've never been there, but the photos on the left side of the wall gave it away.
Yeah, almost all of my things give stuff away. I'm not trying to be clever here. I'm trying to make it easy for my people.
That's good. It's good that you stay in your lane.
Right, so I stay in the lane. Don't be clever. Just get the words out and get the hell out. 15 out of 16. This was the most delayed response we've ever received. So normally I'll get from the live chat 5 or 6, like immediately. I got 1.
Was it right?
Yeah.
All right.
And it was from Australia. Our very first correct answer was from Australia. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it wasn't this hard. The clues were really pretty straightforward. What is happening to these people? Nonetheless, as I just alluded to, our first correct answer was from Debbie Julius from Australia. Debbie gets 1 for the correct answer.
Debbie like Orange Julius?
Just Debbie. We'll do Debbie Australia, but Julius, yes, like Orange Julius. Debbie, 1 for the correct answer. Debbie gets 1 for being the first correct answer. And guess what? Debbie's in the live chat. She's in Australia and she's watching live. If anybody ever says it's too late, bullshit. Debbie's watching, so she immediately gets a triple.
Debbie Orange.
Right now, 100% of 3 are all Debbie. Nicely done, Debbie. Moving forward, we've got Dawn Van Doel. She really likes the show. And that was a good start. And I thought, I might give her a double one just because she's a really smart guy. And then she writes, Pimpin' Wayne is a superstar.
And who is that again?
She gets no more than that. Then we have James in Baltimore. We've got Mike from the Cube. Mike is in there. 1 for the correct answer. Mike from the Cube is also in the live chat. Mike, good to have you there. We've got our good friend Bob Thomas from St. Augustine in Florida. We've also got Holly Mintner, who also writes, she loves the podcast. My first crush, I believe I was 10 years old, was a girl named Holly. Isn't that nice? I've always had a thing for a Holly girl. I've never met a Holly. Oh, she was very cute. Yeah. I was like 10, she was like 15 or 16. She's probably like, what the fuck off.
Right.
Who's your daddy? 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Andy in New Hampshire, 1 for the correct answer. We've got Paul, also known by his spy name Condor, 954. Paul, 1 for the correct answer. Paul the Condor in the live chat gets another 1. We've got Mike Beatty, who writes, can't wait to see me next week. By the way, I sent you just recently to your Gmail account.
I received it.
And are you available for that?
Likely. I'll have to check with my agent.
Fantastic.
I'm kind of at my limit on promotional appearances before you have to come out of pocket extra.
Understood. And I appreciate you caring about my budget.
I do. So my people will call your people, and then we'll do lunch.
That sounds good. We've got Barney, who says, one of these days I'm going to remember what night this live show is on and actually join the chat. Today wasn't one of those days. He gets 1.
Yeah, there's always.
Moving forward, we've got Richard, also known as Phase Jitter, 1 for the correct answer, 1 for being in the live chat. Live chat people are telling you the vast majority of people who win this are people who are in the live chat. That's a fact. I don't make up the rules. I simply report them. We've got Mike Lazowski, who's known as Mad Chipmunk. Again, 1 for the correct answer. Mad Chipmunk, 1 for being in the live chat. I'm not lying. I'm just reporting the facts, man. That's all I'm doing. And then we've got Monica Fagan, also known as Binky, 1 for the correct answer. And then finally we've got, excuse me. Oh, you bastard. Yes, sneaky little bastard. We've got Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson?
No, that'd be Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson? We're going to go with yes. And Samuel writes...
Howdy, Scott and Wayne.
Howdy. Wow, that was a great opening. Well done.
Take a bow, toast each other, or just cop an attaboy.
Why are you yelling right now?
That's what he does.
Is it all capped out? Oh.
No, that's Samuel Jackson.
Do you feel lucky? Go ahead.
There's snakes on a plane. Yeah. I discovered your podcast on YouTube. Our plans are to move to Las Vegas from the San Francisco Bay Area when my wife retires to join up with my daughter and her family that bought their first home in Enterprise. Enterprise, it's not a subdivision. It's like a township.
Yeah.
It's part of unincorporated
Unincorporated Las Vegas, that's right.
Clark County.
Or Clark County, sorry. Yeah.
Gee, do you think I had any influence on their decision?
Yes.
My career had me in Vegas twice a year starting in the late 80s through 2001. In 2000, I took my first pleasure trip to Las Vegas to take in the place on my time, at my speed, for an entertaining, non-work influenced good time. Since then, I still hit up Las Vegas a couple of times a year, although now I only go to the Strip to catch a show. It's been a trip watching Las Vegas grow, and the Strip reinvent itself and pressure downtown to join in the fun. If you had told me back in the early 90s there would be zip lines downtown, I would have heard myself laughing. Las Vegas seems to defy gravity.
Right.
It's about time there's a speakeasy to round out the experience of where you'll find the depictions of Dutch Schultz, Al Capone, John Gotti, Lucky Luciano, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and James Gandolfini.
By the way, real quick, the movie Gotti, 0 on Rotten Tomato. A 0 on Rotten Tomato. Continue on.
even though the last 3 are posers. So I had to enter out of fear of being whacked.
Fair enough.
The Haddam answer this time is the underground at the Mom Museum, where no one wants to be 86th. Keep on keeping on. Samuel Jackson.
Very good, Samuel Jackson. 86, 8 miles out, 6 feet down. There you go. Okay, here we go. Let us begin. La-da-dee. La-da-da. Are you ready?
I am.
Grab a winner.
All right. That's all I do is grab winners.
That's right. That's what you say when you're alone at night. I'm grabbing my winner. It's actually pronounced wiener, but winner is fine.
All right, here we go.
It'll be here all week, by the way.
It is a bonus entry this week.
Oh, see? Somebody got in and are winning because they got a bonus.
They are.
Was it a bonus? Wait. Was it a bonus because they're in the live chat or a bonus because of some other behavior?
Let me go ahead and check the live chat list here. And the answer is, it's because they're in the live chat.
I don't think I can say it more clearly.
You know, as they used to say back in the Ohio Lottery, you can't win if you don't play.
And you can't double, triple, or quadruple your chances unless you're in the live chat.
So congratulations to our winner.
Here it is.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm ready. Paul Condor, ladies and gentlemen. Condor 954. Paul, way to go, my brother. You either win a drink on me, visor, or some of the best Christmas music or any kind of guitar music you'll likely have ever not heard before.
I mean, there's only 189 shopping days left.
All right, so get on it. Quit screwing around. All right, let's look at this week's Have a Drink on Me.
Disclaimer, there may or may not be 189 shopping days left until Christmas.
That's right, here we go. Boink. And here are your clues. Today we're only going to do 2 clues. We normally do 3. Today, only 2. If you can't get it from 2, God bless you. You should probably kill yourself. All right, clue number 1. The process or period of gathering in crops. This could be named after the process or period of gathering in crops. Hint number 2. To get to this location, you must walk by a magical chocolate waterfall. To get to this location, you must walk by a magical chocolate waterfall. If you know the name of it, here's what you're going to do. You're going to send that email to haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, haveadrink@vegasvideonetwork.com.
Disclaimer, the views on suicide represented by Scott Whitney do not necessarily represent those of the Vegas Video Network, living in Las Vegas, or Pimp.
Fair enough. Jesus Christ. Let's get some email. Wayne! Aren't you lucky? Axl Rose is a bitch.
Fun fact, in the international versions of this program that are distributed through syndication,
sure,
it's actually my picture and you don't have a photo.
That's
in that
right.
Graphic.
That's right. It's the law because I am so gorgeous. There are people like, we don't want to create yet another riot. Okay, this is part of the show where we we read emails that we get from people
One of us listens while the other reads.
Who watch or listen to our show. If it's a female, Wayne reads it. It's a male, I read it. But as always, we never actually follow that rule. We go back and forth and back and forth. I will begin in order. We will begin with this one from, actually, we are going to follow the rule. Yvonne. And Yvonne writes.
Yvonne says, this is an Yvonne's format, right? This is, the screen bar is...
It came from a email.
Okay.
Actually, it was based on a website thing.
Yes, the contact us portion of the Vegas Video Network website.
We'll take that as well.
The subject is, descriptively enough, question.
Nice.
And she writes...
Oh, excuse me.
How safe is the art district at night when it's not First Friday?
Pretty good.
About a year ago, you posted places for tourists to stay away, and this was the first location.
Whoops.
We'll be there on this Thursday through Monday. I will not read those dates because they are in the past. Hope to hear from you. To hear from you before we get there, so you can decide. So we can decide whether or not to go to the arts district.
What's the date on those? Hold on, let's see. Oh. We just missed it.
We did.
By a week.
We did. Hopefully she didn't stay down there and get shanked. Because she reached out to her buddy Scott for a little advice.
And he was ignored. She was ignored. Yvonne, my first girlfriend's name was Yvonne.
Was it?
This is a pretty interesting day.
Wow.
Yeah, she was neat. So here's the thing about the art district. Yeah, I mentioned it.
Real girlfriend, or will you date me? Circle yes.
She was my first kiss. I think.
Okay.
It's kind of nice, actually. Wow. She slipped. She was kind of aggressive. She slipped the tongue on me.
Oh.
And do you remember the first time you got a tongue kiss?
Yeah.
And do you remember her name? Actually, she wasn't the first. Margot was the first.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it was like 6th grade. And she fired in the tongue, and I'm like, I accept. This is fun. I didn't know we were supposed to do it, but I'm in.
What are you going to say to Yvonne now? Now that I'm
going to say to Yvonne, I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry that you weren't my first kiss. Margot Smith.
Okay, how about this?
It was crazy on the corner. Yeah, here's the deal about that downtown area. It's actually a pretty safe place. It used to be a little rougher than it is today, and I would say that I probably
gentrified.
Yeah, without question. And right next to it is a real nice. It's a good restaurant thing, and across the street is a good British thing that Melissa likes, restaurant thing. I would say you're probably good. Now, look if you're out there and it's dark and it's 3 a.m. and everywhere's closed, I probably wouldn't be hanging out there. But if it's nighttime from 8 to 1, maybe even 2, because there's a couple bars in that area, you'll be fine. I'm saying that because I checked the news prior to our show.
No murders in the
and no
district,
one named Yvonne, whose last name I have here, was murdered.
Oh, good. So then, yeah, Yvonne.
It's another
you
good
got
day.
Nothing to worry about.
Here's a long one from who's this from? Connor, from 22 years old. Wow, a youngster from London, England. Hey, Scott. I am from London, England. And I started watching the show as I was traveling to Las Vegas and wanted to find out a little bit more about the place, and your podcast cover every aspect and some really, really interesting topics. Some, not all. The very first video I watched was the top places to avoid in Las Vegas, episode 257, which Yvonne previously spoke about. I absolutely loved it. It gave me an insider's opinion, to Las Vegas, and was so interesting to watch and listen to. One thing that really stood out was the relationship that you and Brett had together. After watching that show in its entirety, I then started to watch the other videos with you and Brett, and was only interested in the ones that you guys were doing. Your chemistry was fantastic. It was only the other day that I typed Brett's name and I realized that he had passed away and that you had a remembrance page and a remembrance episode about him. I would never normally be like this and write to someone about something like this, but somehow I felt compelled to contact you on the show. I did not realize from watching a couple of videos that that were dated back in 2015 and 16 that Brett was ill, and when I saw that, my heart sunk. I do not know him personally, nor have I watched every single show. Shame on you. But the relationship you guys had together and seeing how much fun you guys had was so nice to watch. I'm 22 years old, and I'm traveling to Vegas for a week. The same reason most people go to Vegas. I don't really have that much of a reason to watch the show. However, I've subscribed and find myself watching every video, even though I live on a different continent, and it doesn't really have a lot to do with or be relevant to me. That's what I want. I want people to watch who find no relevance in what we do.
Relevant.
This means nothing to me, but I'm still watching it. It's a bit of a shit show. Let's watch. I absolutely love the show and the topics you discussed. You and Brett made it so easy for everyone to listen to. I know it has been a while since Brett passed away, but I want to send my condolences as I was truly touched by his aura and your friendship with him and the on-screen chemistry. A tribute to him was a really nice touch. I'm a fan of the show. Keep up the good work. Blah, 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 blah. Connor. Thank you so much, Connor. I miss Brett, of course. He was a great guy. A fantastic broadcaster. If I might say one thing.
Sure, you can say two.
And that is this. When I started this show, I started with Melissa. She was my co-host because she was married to me. And so she passed the audition. And as time went on, she decided that, well, she didn't decide. She just got too busy and it just wasn't working out anymore. So I had to go out and find someone to host with me. And Brett was the first person that came to mind. And Brett is a professional broadcaster and he was great. These are hard shoes to fill. Doing this well and being able to keep up and be able to provide content is hard. Brett was great at this. And guess what? This man across from me is also very, very good at this as well. I am fortunate to have Pimpin' Wayne join me. This is not easy. And so I appreciate the sentiments of Brett. I completely agree. It is a great loss. He is still missed by people. He still has a Facebook page that people still comment on, like on his birthday and stuff. Great guy. I will miss him. And I appreciate you being a part of this Living in Las Vegas team as well. Okay. Finally, Debbie, how are you doing on time? We can do it.
Debbie in quick. Here we go.
This is Debbie from Australia. Debbie writes.
Debbie says, good day, Scott and Wayne. We've been learning lots through listening to your show. It's heaps of fun and more so with the chat. We'll be in Las Vegas early August. Hey, we got one on time. We'd love to take both or either of you out for a drink. If you're available, let me know, and they'll be in touch closer to the date.
Boom.
As you know, for our wedding anniversary each year, my husband Leo surprises me with an international holiday. Did you know that?
He mentioned, she's written before and mentioned that.
Okay, always to Las Vegas. Our anniversary, 36 years.
What?
36 years.
What?
36.
All right. No need to repeat yourself. All right.
Is on the 17th of July. Cool. Although we don't go through the whole thank you, this is such a surprise, and oh no, you've given me this fantastic holiday, and I didn't get you anything.
That's a lie.
We both know it's impossible for him to book such an expensive purchase without me knowing, and doubly so this year since we had to get our passports renewed.
Of course.
Apart from that, the anticipation of the holiday is almost as good as the holiday itself. Of course, in Australia, holiday means vacation.
And you always say that to kids who get nothing. Well, thanks for having Christmas anyway.
Leo and I would very much like to take both or either of you out for a drink. Our treat in Australian. Shout means they're buying.
I'm with you.
This year we'll be in Las Vegas from the 30th of July, flying home on the 9th of August.
I like it.
We're actually expecting to arrive lunchtime, and then there's some some certain flight plans here.
Hanging out over at Sapphire's.
Right.
Good to know.
I believe she put her room number on here.
Nice. Here's where I'll have the key underneath the mat.
Correct.
Fantastic. Yeah. Way to go, Deb.
She's already waiting for her anniversary to happen again in 2019. Best regards, Debbie and Leo.
So we will do everything we can to meet up with Deb, primarily because two reasons. She's from Australia, and I like Australians.
Well, international. I mean, the international's my bread and butter.
Huge international play. And by the way, she's going to buy us a drink, so she understands that it's better to give than receive. So Debbie, I'll reach out to you, and we'll figure out a date where your favorite Scott and Wayne will come by and we'll have a drink on you.
We'll get you, Deb. 2 shot, please.
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, look at that.
And that basically wraps up today's show.
Okay.
Way to go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Hey, there's a number of ways to be a part of this big show, and that's how you. First of all, you can do on-air queue. Send an email to us, just like Debbie did, or somebody. And it's onairqueue@livinginlv.com. Again, onairqueue@livinginlv.com. You can send us a voicemail. Yeah, but I don't have a phone. Okay, you don't even need a phone. That's how great we are.
You'll survive.
Yeah, I just
got a 10-year-old Buick.
Right, boom. Go to our website, click that little orange tab on the right side, then you'll click on that little box that says send us a voicemail. And because you have a microphone attached to your computer, why wouldn't you? Well, because you're playing Fortnite and you want to talk to other people, apparently, you can also send us a voicemail. We're all over the place. We're on the social media. We're on iTunes. And if you see us or watch us on iTunes or listen to us, give us a 5-star review. Hey, YouTube, YouTube, everywhere. I think we're about 3,800 subscribers. Give us a thumbs up and all that cool stuff. Don't forget that, of course. Roku, 79,188 accounts installed. Stitcher, TuneIn, Chromecast, Apple, Google Fire TV, Google Play, and of course, the Vegas Video Network. I'm your buddy Scott. That there is Wayne, Pimpin'. And we're going to be taking a couple months off. We're taking off July and August to just recharge.
Summer break.
And this is where I'm going to start up the pay-per-view version of this, which I've been saying for the last 400 years.
Not really in shape.
I might actually do it. People keep asking about it, and I'm like, yeah, no, I should. And then I never do. Will I do it? Over under? Probably not. But I really should, because I've got some really fucking cool ideas. Nonetheless, it probably won't happen. But if it does, it'll be great. Okay, that's it. We'll see you guys beginning in September on the Living in Las Vegas podcast here on the Vegas Video Network. Oh, by the way, one thing. I think we're going to bring on a show that we kind of used to have on the Vegas Video Network, and I think it might be coming back from way, way long ago. Different title of it, same general idea. If we do it, it'll be fucking cool.
Stick around,
see you guys later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.